Hi, this video is about using the sketch technique in Fusion 360. So sketching allows you to draw lines, arcs, basic two-dimensional shapes that can then be extruded or pulled into a 3D object. It differs from the primitives you can make, which kind of is a two-step click to creating some basic 3D shapes. So in order to use sketches, the sketch mode, you have to create a sketch. Now, this is the quickest way to do it if you have this create sketch icon. If for some reason that doesn't appear, it's also available under the sketch menu, create menu. I'm going to go back and click this. And then as soon as I say I want to create a sketch, it wants to know which plane I'm going to put the sketch on. I typically choose the floor, but it's not all that important in most cases. After you choose your plane, it will give you a bird's eye view of that plane. You are still able to orbit around, either with this navigation cube, or you can use the shift middle mouse button, and that will always orbit for you as well. I'm going to go back to top perspective just so I have it nice and neat. You can see clearly that we are now in sketch mode. There's a lot of different hints. First, the icon bar looks different. It's showing you that we're in sketch mode, and we're in sketch mode because we have an option to finish the sketch. The other thing that's happened is a sketch folder was created and it's showing us the sketch we're working on. So you can have several sketches in a Fusion document. I encourage you, if you're only doing small models, to try to avoid having multiple sketches. This can happen to beginners because they kind of feel like whenever they need a sketch, they should push this button. But that's not true, because you can open previous sketches as long as you have this browser open and you've expanded your sketch folder in the browser. So if I want to go back to sketch 1, I can double click it. And now I'm back into sketch mode, and I'm able to draw in my sketch 1. So the number of sketches you have here, it can get confusing, because if you want to edit something in the first sketch you made, but you now have 10 sketches, it might be hard to select it because you basically need to know which sketch layer it's in. So that's important to note. I'm going to draw a few things just to show you something. So that creates a rectangle, and this creates a circle, and it does it from the center. The spline tool we're not going to look at just yet, nor are we going to look at some of these other tools. I am going to choose the line tool, and I'll do another video specifically on this line tool. But I want to show you something. If I stop my sketch, and then I decide to, which puts me back into solid mode, and two of the options in solid mode are either press pull or extrude. In a lot of ways, they're the same. In a lot of cases, they do the same thing. I will talk about their differences in another video, but for now I'm going to click extrude. And I can extrude either of these shapes because they have a closed face. So I'm going to click the circle. And one thing I wanted to point out and forgot, if you click extrude and click this, the properties box opens, but you're probably accustomed to seeing an arrow. And so when I'm teaching this to my students, I'm actually going to cancel out. So if you start in top mode and you click extrude and then you click this face, they get a little bit confused because they're used to seeing the blue arrow to pull it up. And then it just takes a minute for me to remind them that they have to look at it with not just the bird's eye view. So we can pull it up here. And I can hit enter or click OK to accept my changes, and I'll end up with a cylinder. And then it looks like I lost the other things I had sketched in sketch 1, but I haven't. They're merely hidden. Whenever you do a modification, a press pull or something, or you create a revolution, some of these things here, the other drawings you had in your sketch get hidden. And you can see right here. So if my folder is collapsed, it looks like everything's showing. But if I expand this folder, you can see that the other sketch items are now hidden. So we simply have to click this eyeball. In the earlier version of Fusion, it looked like a light bulb instead of an eyeball. But once you click the eyeball, your other sketches could come back. And if you wanted to press, pull, or extrude another one, you can do that. So I really encourage you to get used to knowing which your sketch you're in and how to get back in if you need to edit it or add another drawing to the sketch. So again, if I wanted to do that, if I wanted to change the dimensions of this or something, you can double click the sketch here. That brings you back into what you did. And then you're able to do some editing, which I'm not going to show you here, but that's sort of the beginning of how Sketch looks. So pay attention to the menu bar, know when to finish Sketch and not to finish Sketch. And then when you do finish Sketch, remember that it brings you back to solid mode and you can hide and show your sketch in the browser. So I hope that helps as an introduction to sketches.